Welcome to Mindset Mastery with Julissa Edwards, the podcast dedicated to helping high performers unlock their true potential and cultivate a powerful mindset for success. I'm your host, Julissa Edwards, a mindset coach and advocate for healthy high performance. Join me on this transformative journey as we delve into strategies, insights, and inspiring conversations with experts and thriving high performers. Get ready to master your mindset, elevate your performance, and create a life of purpose and fulfillment. Let's dive in. Hello, my friends. We are going to be talking about all things energetically charging your desires to make your dreams come true. This is a very, very special live episode because we're going to be speaking about my 3-year anniversary in business, all that I've learned, how I hit my milestones, how I've stayed on track and beyond, and how energetically charging my desires has helped me do so. So, if you're here, if you have the time, get a pen and paper. If you desire to have more time freedom, if you desire to live a life of more alignment, if you desire to be expansive and do multiple facets of passions and not leave one to the back burner. A lot of us are juggling motherhood and work or motherhood and business, and there's other aspects of us that desire expansiveness and more, and sometimes we feel like we're stretching ourselves too thin or that it's not feasible. And I'm here to show you a way of how to do that in your own world. You don't have to do exactly what I did, but I can show you and I can explain to you the mindset behind my business strategy, my life strategy, and how I make it work for me. So I'm really excited about today's call. Let's get into it. So I'm listening to my voice. I literally just woke up, you guys. So, this is love right here. Okay, so the vision that you have has to be bigger than you, and it has to be in the highest timeline of all beings. Whatever it is that you desire to do in life, whatever it is that you are wanting to achieve, it can't selfishly be just for you. So there's maturity in this vision, right? There's emotional maturity behind this vision. This is a calling. If y'all don't know, I'm super spiritual. This is a calling that your higher powers are asking you to partake in. Should you say yes to the calling? And so when you look at it that way, and when you can dive deep into what is it that I'm supposed to be doing in this lifetime, it doesn't really become about you. How is this thing going to serve others best? For me in my business, I became a therapist because I wanted to heal people before I was a coach, right? I began, my career in traditional psychotherapy, went to school, got my master's, did the whole thing, worked in many different arenas before. And so I did it because I wanted to help people. Probably a lot of people in helping professions do the same thing. And so then I realized in my line of work that while I was doing a great job as a therapist helping people, I had this calling to expand more, to help more. And I thought, okay, the traditional trajectory of a therapist is you become a clinical supervisor. You then maybe own your own private practice. And of course, while helping others, I also want to get fed. So I'm looking at salary. I'm looking at, okay, how much money do I make here? What's going to best support the lifestyle that I want? I looked into schools. I even worked in a school for some time, working up that ladder of Department of Education. I get summers off, literally just looking at what my options were in my line of work. To see what's going to be best supported for me and my future family. I'll talk about that in a second too. And what's going to light up my soul of what I really want to do with the time that I have here on earth, right? So once I was able to get that engine running of my mind of like, I want to help more people. I want to impact more lives. And I also want to be well fed. And there's nothing wrong with wanting both things. In this conversation, I'm going to be talking a lot about the and. I want this and that. And it's not selfish. My cup's got to be filled so I can be the best provider for my clients and who I'm going to be impacting, right? And having this understanding of internal worth, charging your internal desires, knowing that it's not selfishly, solely, egotistically about you, but about the greater good of all beings, right? Being in that playing field that we're here to make massive impact. And my soul chose my body in this timeline for a very specific purpose. And I'm boldly and courageously saying yes to the calling. Okay? So it has to be bigger than you, and it has to impact all beings in their highest timeline. Okay? And I like phrasing it that way because also when you do scary things, either in your line of work, as an entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're choosing to do, when you see it as an act of God, higher power, universe, when you see it as an act of service, when you get in your head about doing the thing in leadership that scares you, about being an entrepreneur, about leaving your 9 to 5, about taking charge of whatever it is that you want to do in your trajectory of your small, short time here on earth, you're going to get scared. You're going to want to contract and get small. You're going to want to sometimes not do the thing, and you're also not going to believe in yourself sometimes. It's the egoic human experience to doubt. And you best believe you're going to doubt yourself when you're doing something so big, so different, so scary that you don't know how it's going to work out for you. And so the original vision that it has to be bigger than you, if it was just about you, it's easy to give up. But if it's about other people and truly serving them and having this greater massive impact, then it can't just be about you. When I wake up today, multiple days, especially in the first year of my business, which I'm going to go down how all this changed and worked out for me and what I did to get to where I am today. In the first year of my business, scratch that, before I even had clients in my business, I used to journal. Guys, 21 days self-love abundance journal. If you don't know how to journal, start there. Link is in my bio. But I used to journal every single day. And I used to envision the life that I wanted for myself. And it's not just how manifestation works. It's not just the vision that I wanted for myself. I used to close my eyes and energetically see it, feel it, touch it, taste it. I still have my very first journal under here, my desk right here in 2019 probably. No, 2020. And I started to write every single day. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, higher power, for allowing me and my husband to be stay-at-home working parents. We are both fulfilled in our careers, and we are making a difference, and we get to spend time with our children and not miss a milestone. That same message in different formats and different ways of saying it, I used to say it every single day in my journal. I always start, if anyone knows me about my journaling practices, I always, begin the page with thank you, universe, for all your continued blessings. I go right into gratitude, and then I emotionally dump whatever's on my heart and chest at that time that I need to clear or work through. Or sometimes that means I'm manifesting, right? And so I'm writing and I'm exploring and I'm envisioning and I'm imagining what this life gets to be for me, how I get to co-create with the universe, and how the universe, God, higher power, literally only want to support me. And you too, should you believe it to be so. Once my heart is in alignment, love being the most potent frequency that you can tap into, it is so powerful for you and for others, right? And so the work that I'm doing here is to be of service to others. And at the same time, I'm also making sure my cup is filled so that I don't work crazy hours anymore. I used to in my previous line of work as a therapist. And I also always had like 5 jobs, right? So I was calling in a life of time freedom, flexibility, more impact. I was calling in a life where I didn't have to be in front of my client more to create greater impact. I was asking universe, show me a better way, show me how, right? And so it's funny when you're energetically aligned to something bigger than you, why wouldn't the universe want to support you? You're not only helping yourself, but you're helping so many other people. So they're like, hell yeah, I'll help you. Here's the way. Look at this coach. That was my first inkling. I found my first business coach. Look at this coach. Look at what they're doing. You could do that too. You can learn from her. She's young. She has a 6-figure business. She was like, at that time, I think I was, when did I move here? I was like 25, 26, right? My coach was like a year older than me, making 6 figures in the first 8 months of her business. I was like, what do you do? How did you do that? And then, of course, I'm not going to lie, egoically, I was fascinated by her movements and her beingness and how much money she was making, if I'm being honest. And then this was the universe keeping me to the aligned path. Then I met her, got mentored by her, learned from her. And I was like, oh my God, she has the biggest heart and soul ever possible. She's really here to help others. She's really here to help change the dynamics of women in their choice field of work, helping them make more money, helping them have greater impact. Literally exactly all that I was asking for. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Right? That's how my business began. Before I launched anything, I had mentors. I speak about this on an episode prior on my podcast called Mindset Mastery with Julissa Edwards. But I talk about the importance of having someone holding you to a higher degree. Having someone that's not going to be that's not you. So you don't have to face those internal struggles alone, because best believe when you're doing big things, insecurities pour in. Can I really do this? Am I going to be able to sustain myself? Am I really helping people? Do people even know what I'm about? Like, till this day, I still ask myself those questions. I still step into insecurities at times because I'm constantly stretching, growing and evolving and doing the thing that most people don't. Taking the road less traveled. That's not easy. For me, it's entrepreneurship. For you, it could be that too, or leaving your 9 to 5, or it could be something else. It could be you leading your life a different way. It could be you breaking generational trauma for you and your family. I work with a lot of mamas, a lot of people in general that want to break free of the habits that were ingrained in them due to their upbringing. And it's no hate or shame on the people that raised us. We love them wholeheartedly. They did the best they could with what they had. And it wasn't all bad, and it wasn't all rainbows and sunshines. We all have things to look back on. We all have things to observe and see. How did this affect me? How did this impact the way that I view life today? What are my belief systems about the way that the world operates? Who taught me those beliefs? What life experiences taught me to look at life in that fashion? And how can I correct and readjust to make a life more prosperous for me, more abundant, more loving, more joyful? What toxic beliefs or limiting beliefs do I have to rid myself of so I can live the life that I ever so dream about? And how can I choose myself time and time again, even when it's scary, even when it's dark, even when no one is clapping, when no one understands the greater vision? You know why they don't understand? Because it's not their vision. It's not their life. Higher power, God didn't give it to them. They're giving it to you. And so when I say you have to be locked in, this thing that you're doing, again, has to be for the greater good of all people, not just you, because if it's just you, you're going to give up. I promise you. If it's just you, and if it's just for the money, and if it's just for one thing, like you're going to give it up. But it has to be for your benefit, for your expansion, for your growth, for your up-leveling, so you can be a better leader. A better leader to do the thing that you're supposed to be doing. whatever that is. Okay? Okay. Like I said earlier in this episode, or this live, I should say, I'm on Instagram Live. I'm doing two things at the same time. And it's super early. So if I'm like, what is going on? This is why. I also want to talk about, this is our coming up on our 3-year anniversary for the business. Such a short time. I've only been in business for 3 years. I'm a baby. I'm a noob. I'm so new to this entrepreneurship world, and I feel like I know and I've learned so much. And at the same time, I also know that I know nothing. I know a lot, but I also know that this is 3 years in the game. This is nothing. And I'm really grateful for the experience that I've had thus far, for the movements that I've made thus far, for the people that I've helped thus far, by simply sharing my story, by simply being open and honest, right? No gatekeeping. I want if this is the life that you desire, tune in, take notes, take action. It's feasible for you. I'm not special. I love myself. And I think that I'm an amazing coach, therapist, healer, and I have been gifted literally from God these internal intuitive gifts that I have to help others in the world and motivate and inspire and expand them. I know I'm good at what I do. There's no question about it. And with all that love, confidence, and inner love, I also know that you can do it too with whatever it is that you desire, because you and I are the same. We're equal, right? And so let me talk to you about the milestones of my business and how, again, that greater vision helped me get there. So as a traditional therapist in the traditional world, I was working a 9 to 5 or whatever the hours were. It's 40 hours a week, seeing 35 plus clients a week. That's normal, right? For a traditional therapist. And it got to a point where I was definitely getting burnt out. 35 people a week is a lot of people to see. There's a lot of energy to hold. And I was wondering how could I ever serve more people? So the idea of groups, group therapy came to mind. I had already dabbled in that in some of my previous lines of work within the psychoeducation or psychotherapy field, I should say. And it was great, all the things. Again, I began thinking about how could I have more impact? Oh, I think I'm really good at what I do. Maybe I could train therapists. Maybe I could be a clinical supervisor one day. Maybe I could be a director one day. Maybe I could own my own practice and have my own culture and have my own mission and vision and inspire the therapists that work underneath me. I thought about all those things, right? And like I said prior, then I was introduced to this online space of yesterday. My husband's in tech and he was doing some research or just playing around with some app that he has, and it stated that I want to say, don't quote me, but it was a massive, I think it was like 60 billion people. That's a lot. I can't even imagine that number, are on Instagram like on a monthly basis, something crazy, and that the numbers were low. Right? And so think about the reach, not just Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Think about the TikTok. Think about the reach that social media has. It's not news, right? We kind of know this stuff, right? And so when I thought about building a brick and mortar one day, gaining my momentum and experience to be able to do those things, I thought about, I have a really, amazing practice in whatever city I'm in. And I don't know, I could touch a lot of people, right? And then I also was brought the idea of, you could do this thing online. You could work with people all over the world in different countries, which I've already had, which is a beautiful thing to say and experience. I've had clients from India. I've had clients from Asia. I've had clients in China, like literally, and of course all over the States, all over the US. I've had clients all over the world. Okay? And they found me through my itty bitty Instagram. People think that you have to have a large following. Till this day, I have like 2,300 followers. Slow and steady. It doesn't matter. I've met being in masterminds with other business owners that are in the online space like myself. I've been in masterminds where we're looking at 6-figure businesses, close soon to be 7-figure businesses with like 3K followings. Beginning at 500 followings, beginning at 100 followings. It doesn't matter. You know what makes them different? The same thing that I said earlier in this live before, their vision to help others. I'm mentored by a coach, Melissa Ruiz, who truly believes in having a soulful experience in business. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Having a soulful business that literally is an extension of my heart, my greater purpose. So why did I begin my business online? Why did I move from traditional psychotherapy to my first group coaching program, which was the Mind Reset program? It went from being a 4-week program to then a 6-week program to then a 12-week program to then a 6-month program. And it changed so many lives. And the reason why I did it initially was because I was getting tired of repeating the same thing. And I was seeing 35 clients a week. And, the great thing about being a therapist is like you have all the data right there in front of you. When you're seeing so many clients, you're the expert in your field because you know a lot. I'm seeing so many people on a weekly basis. You see so many people on a weekly basis that I have nothing but numbers and data and emotional, assessments and reasonings as to why people do what they do, how they get stuck, how they get better. So becoming a coach for me was kind of like seamless. I already had so much. I had clinical background. And I went to school for, the mental health. And I love mindset and the way that it works. So I was in sessions saying the same damn thing over and over and over again. And I was like, you know what? Therapy would work so much better, so much faster, so much more efficient if people took a little crash course on basic 101 stuff for psychotherapy. And it's not for psychotherapy, basic 101 stuff for living a life that will bring you more ease, happiness, and abundance, right? Bringing you more joy, laughter, peace, helping you with the basics of mindset work so that when you come into therapy with me, you have all the foundations and we can really soar. I would love the month 2 and 3 that I had with a client in my traditional psychotherapy days because they already knew the vibes. They already knew what they were. If they were a great client, they were doing the homework that I assigned to them, right? So even then, not knowing, I was really doing a lot of coaching with my clients, not knowing the difference between coaching and therapy. And that's for a different talk. But I was doing that and they were having great results. And I was like, yo, I'm tired of doing the same preliminary 4-week training with everybody. I want everybody to be at this point when they come to see me, right? So then Mind Reset was born. And what did I do? I created modules. Here are the basic fundamental things to get you further in life within your mindset. Mind Reset. I had pillars. They would watch them. They would learn from them. I had a workbook eventually, all these things little by little. I kept adding and adding and adding and adding and making the program better and better. I had support. I had co-coaches, at the end of, what it was. And it was great. Everybody that was in that cohort, that was in that group coaching already, I didn't have to, I don't want to say waste my breath, but I could save time because they didn't need to learn the basic 101s of how to not be so depressed, how to be less anxious, how to have control and mastery over your mindset. Literally. They watched the videos, they would come see me in a group, and then I also sprinkled one-to-ones in there. That's how most of my programs work today. There's modules that you learn from. We have group coaching calls, and I sprinkle one-to-ones in there to have the most expansive experience, right? And so again, the vision here was, how can I impact more people? How can I save time for me and for them? Dual benefits. How can I save time for me as a clinician and them for their healing experience, journey? What works for people with all the data that I had with seeing mad people every single week? What works for people? What makes people come back to therapy? What gives people higher resilience in their lives post-therapy? I had all that data. And so I made my program out of it. The duality of it's serving me and it's serving them, right? I was getting great results. I was on cloud 9. My Mind Reset program was changing lives. I was already changing lives as a therapist, right? And I felt really good about that. That also feels really good for my soul and my ego. We're human at the end of the day. We can't forget. We're not just like people of service. In this conversation, I'm talking a lot about duality. This and that, this and that. I'm fueling myself, my desire to be greater, my desire to help people, my desire to have a massive impact, like ripple effects on this world, right? It was fueling all of that. And I was getting paid much better than what I was getting paid in my 9 to 5. These measly 4 hours of my week, was it 4 hours? Not even. It was 90 minutes every week, give or take. So whatever, do the math. That's like 6 hours a month. For 6 hours a month, I was just doing this one class, right? This one mastermind, this one mind reset program. At the very, very beginning, it would have like 4 people in it, super tiny. And the one program that was 4 to 6 hours a week was creating massive change for these people. And I was getting paid well. I was like, would you look at that? Would you look at that? And I wholeheartedly believe and teach others that are mentees under me. And this is also a teaching that I'm reminded of often with my own mentors. If your dream and your mission and vision is aligned for the greater good of all beings, and all beings means you included, you got to be fed well, then you will thrive and you will have success. So again, we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary. What were the milestones in my business? That was most definitely the first one. Getting a program out there, selling it, having success, having successful testimonials, and then people wanting to come back again. It was a 4-week program. So at that time I was doing it I was launching like every 5 weeks or so. I would run the program, then get ready to do the next one and the next one and the next one, right? And I would have wait lists. I would have wait lists for people that wanted to join the next round, the next round, the next round. Why? Because it was working. People were getting results. And I was sharing it. Something else too about entrepreneurship and marketing and advertising. You got to talk about your ish. You have to talk about it. You can't be scared to share your light. And again, why am I sharing it? Many purposes, but dual purposes, this and that. I'm sharing it to showcase that what I am giving out is really working. It's really helping people. And I'm doing it to market and advertise my business. So more people could find me, and more people the funnel can attract more clients my way, and I can help more people. For my motherhood program, right? I'm going a little off track. Now let me stay on track. I got my notes here because my brain can go everywhere. The next program that I did, again, it was the same message. So I'm in a part of my business, well, at that time, right? This is like 2020, 2021, where I'm like, holy crap. I've unlocked this abundant vortex of possibilities. So much so that it was for therapists only at the time. I was like, oh my God, if therapists could only see what's possible for them. For all of us that were stuck in a rut, that were burnt out, barely making ends meet due to poor salaries and being overworked. If they could only see the massive work that I get to do here online and also learn how to make a better income. That was my mission first when I created the Entrepreneur's Mind Reset program. That was my intention. I want to help therapists. I won't get into the nitty-gritties, but there's a lot of mindset work and learning about people and professions and how they see things. And one of my theories, and it's backed up by my own evidence, it's not like published, but I did, I don't even know, like over 25 like intake interview calls to see if X person was fit to be in X program. I had a lot of therapists apply for my program. I had some doctors apply for my program. And what I was realizing was, this is going to go left. Sometimes we're so used to learning things in one way through our series of education and I'm not knocking education. I love where I'm at because I went to school and all the things. And what I'm also saying is that we learn how to do things in one way, in one fashion. So the idea of entrepreneurship and doing things this way was so left for a lot of clinical professionals that they didn't join up for the program. They couldn't fathom taking that leap of faith. okay, and doing the scary thing and putting themselves out there and all the things. So eventually, you know, I had a heart to heart conversation with God, with the universe, and I was like, show me a better way, show me how. And the message was like, open it up to all service-based industries. So I did, and then I made a really profitable program out of that. I was teaching fitness coaches and some therapists too, different people in different fields, life coaches, Reiki healers, like just anything that was service based, any type of coach or service provider. I was taking in and helping them be clear on their vision, launch their practice or their business. And if they had already launched, I was helping them expand. I was helping them scale. I was helping them make more money by helping more people. Working smarter, not harder, you know, all things, of course, with mindset, right? So that was a super profitable time in my business as well. And again, why? Because it was a dual reasoning. It was for the greater good of all beings, for my clients and myself included. I was then learning how to, you know, I was helping people launch their businesses. I was putting money in their pockets, right? And also they were putting money in mine but to pay me for the service that I was providing for them. Okay. I would say at that point, the milestone was that 2021, I was learning how to use my time more wisely. And at this point, I was either already pregnant and already had Marcus. And so I was juggling a lot. Yeah, I already had my firstborn son, Marcus. I was juggling a lot. And I don't have enough time in this live to talk about all the things, but just know that as I'm hitting all these milestones in the business, and it's less, I mean, they're milestones because I achieved greater impact and I was serving more clients and I was, yes, making more money, but more so they're milestones for me because my vision got clearer and clearer and clearer, and I was helping people that were aligned to my greatest calling at that time. And again, I was simply saying yes to the calling. So for me, those were my milestones because with every new program that I released, I learned new things about myself. I was able to help a different facet or group of people in the online space. And what we won't go into today on this call because we don't have enough time, but just know that behind the scenes, I was going through massive inner work. Lots of crying, lots of expansion, lots of doubt, lots of fear, lots of sometimes, am I going to be able to make ends meet? That happens in business. You have highs and you have lows. When I say that I'm taking the path less traveled, it's not a 9 to 5. You get to make up your own rules. You get to be your own boss. You get to do your own things, but you gotta believe in yourself. So yes, behind all the great accomplishments and all the great things, I was going through it internally too. I'm learning, which is why I was always being held by a mentor. That's why I'm in mentorship now. I have huge goals coming up, which I'll share probably at the end of this call, but I need to be held energetically in order to reach those new heights. Okay. So next program, my baby right now, which is the Conscious Motherhood Circle, right? I share a lot with my clients and my mamas that are in the program right now that it was literally a gifted vision from my angels, literally. So many people were telling me, you should work with mamas. You should work with mamas. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. I just didn't see myself doing that wholeheartedly. I couldn't see myself supporting mothers. I was like, that's not me. One, I just became a mom. I don't really know what being a mom is. Like, this is so new for me. I didn't align with it. And this is the part that I talk about for the greater good of all being, saying yes to the calling, even if it doesn't make sense to you, the human. If it doesn't make sense to you, the human, but it makes sense to the stars and the universe and your angels and your higher power, and they're gifting you and they're giving you messages. Are you courageous and bold enough to say yes to the calling? Right? So Conscious Motherhood Circle, I had so many dreams and messages of like, you should do this program. And I'm like, I resisted for so long. And then when I finally said yes, I remember in my first round, I only had 2 people join, which is honestly, numbers wise, statistically, that's normal if you're launching something new sometimes. But I only had 2 mamas, and they were the best 2 mamas ever. They were the best 2 first clients that I could have in the program. And I was like, this isn't working. Yes, did I help these mothers? Absolutely. I was helping them break generational trauma. They gave me amazing testimonials, and I knew that it was working, but I was like, impact. It was only 2 people. Impact. Like, where's the impact here? Right. And obviously, my rebuttal to that now is that when you're helping a mama heal, my slogan, you help her whole family heal wholeheartedly. I'm not only helping the mother, I'm helping the mother of children, the mother who sometimes, also has a spouse, a partner. And so she's the catalyst of movement and healing for the entire family. She's the role model for these little kids that watch her every single day, and the way that she talks and grows and expands and handles her emotions and how she speaks to them with kindness and generosity and compassion, like all those things that I was teaching these mamas. And it's not that I was giving it to them like they didn't have it before. I'm just shining the light a little bit better so they could see more in depth of what they're doing and what they could be doing better. And most importantly, not holding any shame or resentment about what they've done in the past. Me too, as a mama, as people, we mess up. In motherhood, we yell at our kids. We feel like we don't spend enough time with them. We have all this guilt and shame, and it's okay. As long as you can reflect backwards and think, where did I learn this behavior? What's actually coming up for me at this time? What am I unknowingly teaching my children at this time? And how can working on myself be a benefit for not only me, the good of all beings, not only me, but my family? So even though I only had 2 mamas, one of those mamas was a recent, she recently separated from her partner, and her son was going through it because he was going through all this turmoil of change at a very young age. And because of the program, and she says it beautifully in her testimonial to me, that through her inner work, her child gained peace. Her child gained a world where he was able to thrive and speak up again and be in social settings because his mother was grounded. So it wasn't a question of like, is this working? I knew the program was working, but I was like, 2 people, that's my ego. I was like, 2 people? I want greater impact. Universe, show me how. So here we are. I think we're in the 4th round of the Conscious Motherhood Circle. And one of my greater visions has been of the universe show me how was the beginning of this year, we did our first, very, very, very first retreat. And it was absolutely beautiful. It was so nice for me to, have physical contact with my virtual clients. And it was just a beautiful space, a beautiful whole day event where we get to come together, share stories, share visions, heal, have spiritual healing practices, be nourished with soulful food that's good for your soul, good for your body, all natural, I think on the menu, was it all vegan food? It was all food that was good. It was all Mediterranean, beautiful, beautiful Mediterranean, delicious food. And it was just a whole day of like a mother's reset and rejuvenation and cultivation of community and sisterhood. And just a beautiful space to be in. And so that was the next level up. I was like, okay, you have a program, you have a mastermind called the Conscious Motherhood Circle. And you're now also going to be hosting retreats in alignment with that, in conjunction with that. And just know that my vision for that is to have, like, I see in the future, my eyes closed, me on this like dome of a, like wherever I will hold like the classes, the coaching calls, the healing, like it's like a brown dome, and there's massive brown grass fields in front of me, lots of land, and we have camping sites, and we have one day it won't just be mamas, it'll be for partners and children as well, and it'll be a weekend retreat for the whole, like that is my greater vision. Baby steps to get there. I'm only serving mamas at this time. But if I can close my eyes, I can see it very clearly. And this vision has been gifted to me, and it's something that I'm going to continue to pursue, because that for me is the greater impact. Okay, couple of people, lots of people will join my masterminds. Yes. And that'll be very fruitful and great for the both of us. And how can I reach more people? Again, that's what the retreats came in for me. So as I'm shedding these milestones in the business, all these new ideas, again, behind the scenes came with a lot of hardships, a lot of crying, a lot of expansion, all the things, a lot of journaling, inner work, a lot of coaching, being taught strategically. How do you actually run a business? It's not just about ideas. It's also about like numbers and being organized and having support, having team members to help me, all of that. But I can't cover that all in today's live. But when I look back on the 3 years that I've had, the short 3 years of my business, my success has come from believing in the greater vision and taking the aligned steps to get there with fear, with doubt, with insecurities, and still moving forward and taking the next step. Okay, so next week begins our anniversary sale. It is our 3 years in business from November 6th. That's our 3-year anniversary all the way until the 10th. So Monday through Friday next week, we're going to have special sales for the business. So please look out for that. I really, really hope that this was insightful for everyone. I really, really hope that you took great notes. And if you didn't watch the whole thing, you'll come back and watch the rest. And if you're someone who's looking for more in life, looking to do this and that and not lose yourself in the process and have joy and bliss and abundance in your day-to-day life by being able to be more present, if you desire that, please join us. Please contact me and I will help you get there. Okay, I love you all so, so much. And I will see you very, very soon. Okay, bye for now. Thank you for tuning into Mindset Mastery with Julissa Edwards. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast to receive future episodes packed with valuable insights. Remember to follow us on social media at thehealthy.highperformer for more inspiration, tips, and updates. If you found this episode helpful, we'd appreciate it if you could share it with your network and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your support means the world to us as we continue to empower high performers like you. Until next time, keep mastering your mindset and thriving as a healthy high performer.